and transport too, which is kind of cool.
My
I
entire
guess.
room was a bed. That was excellent.
Okay.
You all got beds?
You didn't get the bed?
I kind of got a cot.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Hmm.
I would have thought that you would have been a highly sought after person with your knowledge of alien life forms.
Well, I think they wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to kill myself before they gave me any posh places to hang myself with a nice Pima cotton sheet.
That is what they did with me. They kept asking, "Are you gonna kill yourself?" And I kept going, "Nah, not today."
Oh, so they asked you guys a bunch of questions too. They did a psych evaluation as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, all right, I
No,
see.
and I believe we all passed with flying colors. Otherwise, we'd all be roommates at my place.
I see. Well, that makes sense now. This is about mission fitness.
In the mid-evening, after everyone had settled, the voice of Dr. Gorvin Haas spoke up across the crew's newly provided comm links. At this point, Radley and Chum have both fallen asleep, and Layla and Salil are up talking amongst themselves.
Good evening, gentlemen. Please check your comms files folder this evening, as I will have assignments for each of you. I appreciate your enthusiasm as we prepare for hopefully a most enlightening expedition.
Chum and Radley are both asleep. Layla and Salil had been sitting there meditating when the voice came through. They both opened their eyes at the same time, equally surprised by the unexpected communication. After a brief moment, Salil taps his personal unit to respond.
So, we have access to the comms? Excellent. I look forward to these discussions.
This would be an appropriate time to orient yourselves to your new command structure.
I appreciate the ability to alleviate my anxieties about once again possibly heading towards my death. I am a scientist, not a soldier, so I am very nervous to leave any semblance of safety that I may find in this cold ash universe.
Without speaking, Layla motions with her hands the activity of drinking alcohol. Salil nods.
Do we perchance have any wine or alcohol that would also be helpful in unwinding?
There are 5 bottles of hard liquor stocked in the galley. I will meet you there to discuss this in person.
As the duo stands up, Salil reaches out towards Chum to wake him up, but Layla grabs his hand and shakes her head no.
Oh, let him sleep.
Before opening the door, Salil nods towards the sleeping Radley.
What about him?
We don't know him. Let's do this clean. Hear this doctor out without any exterior influence.
You're right.
At that, the pair departs the brig and heads down towards the galley, where they encounter Dr. Haas. Alright, let me move you guys down there. So we've got Salil and Layla heading on down to the galley. And now they're at the galley with Dr. Haas. Okay. Where they encounter Dr. Haas, who's already got a bottle of bourbon open. You watch as he pours himself a tall glass.
Ah, Celia and Layla together. Wonderful. Your other comrades decided not to come.
They're sleeping. I figured that's more important right now. I'll fill them in on whatever this is.
Yes, that will work. Wonderful. So, tell me, Dr. Lemon, what is your specialty as a man of science?
An empty glass already in his hand, Salil pours a drink as well and says to Layla as he hands it to her,
Let's crank this party to 11.
Oh my god, thank you. I could definitely use a drink. Or 4.
As Layla takes a seat opposite Gorvin, she watches Sulio pour himself a drink and sit between them.
Well, you could say that I am an inventor. Your government has me developing new weaponry and armor for exploration and protection purposes. But I specialize in automated communications and sentient processors.
Fascinating. What have you invented for your former employers?
I have been developing armor recently that has its own memory, so it collapses when not in use for storage purposes, but within moments is capable of enveloping the wearer in a protective coating to reflect damage. I also recently developed a prosthetic with the help of Layla and Dr. Chum to replace the hand of our former captain lost during a terrible event.
Dr. Haas takes notes on his notepad. It's old, made of real leather, with actual paper pages.
Interesting. That's very interesting. I can see how applications from such technology could be beneficial. That armor, Dr. Celia, may have some applications on upcoming missions. I'm interested in putting your knowledge in robotics and communications to work.
Also,
What I seek to develop is very much like a prosthetic. What I seek to develop is very much like a prosthetic. A drone which can be piloted from the Chernobog, but is fully autonomous when out of palm's range or if our attention is diverted. Like a robot guard dog. We have a workshop and much of the raw materials available. Would this be something you would enjoy working on together?
it would be interesting. It would be interesting. But I'm surprised you say that. I had figured prosthetics were allowed, but when we saw the captain earlier, I couldn't help but to notice that he was missing the hand I had built for him. I may need Dr. Chum for any aesthetic or structural design choices based on life forms. Is it okay to create a sentient AI, or?
As far as sentient AI goes, I'm sure your expertise would be invaluable in creating such kind of adaptive response logic system. But we must be careful. It is much to be a simple, dumb, obedient puppy. Is that understood? The prosthetic shall not turn on its master under our watch, okay?
A master? I don't understand. Prosthetics are a tool. They are part of the person they are attached to help them feel whole again. They are not a life form. They are an extension, as if it, like armor or a hat.
I trust your discretion, Dr. Lemon, that you will not build something disreputable to our crew. Where we are heading, we will need a helping hand to carry the load.
I am just nervous that when we left this planet we are flying to, there were creatures that had sprouted and had begun attacking civilians. I am worried about my son, Sulu. He was scheduled to arrive shortly after we ended up departing, but I am not sure the planet had an alert. If not, then my son is very likely to be in danger. Or worse, honestly. I will do anything you ask, Dr. Ass. As long as Sulu is protected, should he be on the planet at all.
You speak of the squids ejected from Subject 1's body, I presume. What do you know about these squids? What have you observed? Your intellect on this matter may save your son's life. That is only something you can provide for him. I ask only for your loyalty. What you owe your son is your life. I have no need of your life if you promise me your loyalty.
From what I recall, they tried to latch onto the victim's face. I was one of the first that eyed in the APC. When it was happening, I barely saw anything. I only heard so much screaming.
Upon finishing a page in his notebook, Dr. Haas looks up not towards Salil, but Layla.
Good evening, Layla. I've been informed by the commander that he's put Donald Grimshaw into your care. Have you checked on him since his earlier confinement to private quarters?
At the bottom of her second drink already, Layla's eyes widen in a confused, blurry stare.
I wasn't aware that was an option. I would very much like to speak with the captain.
You may speak with him through the comms at any time. Keep in mind, however, that your discussions are recorded for research and security purposes.
It's then that from one of the long, winding metal hallways, the ship's stern-faced, hands covered in oil, jump-suited woman in her mid-30s enters the room. She ignores everyone at the table while pouring herself a glass of water that she downs in one impressive swig. As she turns to leave, the woman stops at the table to look between the gaze of both Layla and Salil before speaking. Hello, new crew members. I am the mechanic of the Chernobog. My name is Ibiov Stolov. The two of you will tell your comrades in the brig that no one is allowed access to the cargo and mechanics bay during this trip. You will not like to deal with me if I find anything out of place. Without pausing long enough for anyone to respond, Ibiov turns on the balls of her feet and departs the room.
Ah, very peculiar woman. I'd listen to her if I were you. As you saw, Ibiab can be intense. Very great worker, though.
At that, Gorvin provides Layla and Salil a digital layout swiped from over his comm unit to theirs.
Here are your mission summons and squad assignments. First Officer Layla, you will be receiving further mission parameters from the commander, as you will be operating directly underneath him. You are now the liaison for Subject 1. Please keep any indiscretions under control. As far as Dr. Salil, I will send you my schematics and notes on the STD for you to begin engineering the relevant materials immediately. We have 7 days until our arrival, and our survival may very well depend on your cunning. Also, going forward, Dr. Chomsky will be referred to by his real name. No nicknames on this ship. I don't abide nicknames. Dr. Chomsky will be assigned to monitor Subject 1, to monitor his comparison to a squad of UPP soldiers, specifically their kill quotient. The average trained UPP soldier has a kill quotient of 1 to 29. I believe Subject 1 has abilities that would indicate his kill quotient is upwards of 1 to 66. That is, I wonder if he can single-handedly kill 66 active opponents.
I will do my best. What you ask is a taloter. With your approval, may I make aesthetic changes to your designs for performance purposes?
Of course. I'm not inclined towards aesthetics, just effective action.
Who is Subject 1?
Your former captain. It is best to disconnect from using his former name. He is no longer a human. He is a creature undergoing a grim transformation that should not be taken lightly. And would you want your name and accomplishments to be under such a mockery? For now, everyone would know what we do here is because and for our own name. Not Frankenstein's monster who goes nameless to his death.
I see. Well, between us, my name is already under quite a bit of mockery from my former employers, so this wouldn't be much of a change. Also, Captain Grimshaw is not a monster. He has saved many of our lives a number of times during our short time together.
He is no longer your captain. In fact, he is the lowest ranking operative on this ship as a result of his actions. Look at my face. And you say, isn't a monster did this? I see very little humanity left in him, though I do hope that the side of him that is still human would appreciate us getting to the bottom of his condition. In the meantime, the survival of this crew depends on you all learning your ranks and operating within them, as our lives depend on everyone operating as a single unit in this next mission. If you insist on thinking of him still as your captain, you can accidentally call out a false order in the field. The commander, that is, Commander Haas, is the only one who should be referred to in such a manner. Subject 1 is your subject to keep alive. You must protect not only innocents from him, but this crew from him. My face should be the only reminder you need.
Understood, Dr. Ass. I will refer to him going forward as Subject 1.
I only wish you do not watch your son die after calling for help from a monster to save him. The same monster who's very likely condemned him, I might add.
It's, yes, I understand, and will make the appropriate adjustments during conversations to avoid any miscommunications in the future.
I can only hope that as a scientist, you appreciate my approach. Though detached it may be, it is only to maximize this crew's lifespan for Lord Pavlovich.
It is the burden of us scientists to detach ourselves in order to maintain a sense of objectivity, no?
You said that Subject 1 has saved your life on multiple occasions. Please, tell me about these moments.
Well, Subject 1 saved our lives while carrying a damaged robot on his back as we escaped a torture chamber. He was also instrumental in keeping us alive as we explored the wild jungles of Novu Odessa.
Tell me more about the squid bursts you witnessed Subject 1 have on Odyssey Limited.
All of the crew was present during that event, except Radley. I really didn't see much of anything as I was cowering inside the APC.
Celia, look into my eyes. Imagine the thought of your son arriving in such a place, with such horrors. I can imagine this has been very stressful for you. Tell me, what did you say your son's name was again?
Sulumor, Sulu for short. Sulu Lamond is his full name.
It must mean the world to you. Did you ever inquire with Subject 1 about a plan to return, or with any care he shed for him?
He is more valuable to me than you could imagine. I have not been given much of an opportunity. We have been going non-stop since we joined the crew, with very little moments of rest along the way. It has been very chaotic.
I understand. You have been through quite the ordeal. Can you imagine how ineffective you'd be knowing your son has been torn to shreds by the very beasts that Subject One unleashed? Lord Pavlovich made an investment in me to deliver your best qualities to him. Your son to me sounds like the best qualities of you. We mustn't lose that. Do you agree?
My God, that would be horrifying. I pray that that has not transpired. And in regards to bringing out my best qualities, yes, knowing that my son is safe would help facilitate that. We will not lose Dr. Haas.
Having just finished her third glass of bourbon and clearly feeling the alcohol's effects, Layla speaks up, frustrated.
I'm sorry. Are you implying that Captain Grimshaw would murder an innocent child? Sounds to me like you're trying to turn us against him.
Listen, you even have trouble saying the words, Captain. So you finally decide to join our conversation. I was wondering if you'd just sit there drinking all night. As a first officer, you are aware we have mission parameters to discuss. And you will refer to me as Dr. Haas when speaking to me. If you're of sober enough mind, yes?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just buzzed.
Very well. Your medical experience. How did you come by it?
I went to Yale. It's a university on Earth. Also, countless hours in the field.
I think I've heard of it. Very prestigious. Do you enjoy the physical aspects of your work, along with the mental?
I do.
And you and Subject One were a good team then. How does he match with your experiences at prestigious University Yale?
I don't exactly see how my relationship with Captain Grimshaw has anything to do with the time I spent attending a university, but yes, I think we make a good team, even though our time together thus far has been brief.
I only inquire in this manner to help him. He was a difficult patient to deal with. And with your experience in dealing with him, I would say you're quite literally the only person available to me who could help me study this change he's going through, outside of forceful, aggressive means.
I can see by the look on your face how difficult he's been.
What look on my face? Anyway, how have you found his human side then? Is he amenable to negotiation, compromise? Can he be a reasonable man, Layla?
Well, his human
Dr.
side.
Haas.
Okay, Haas. His human side is the only side that I do know, and reasonable, absolutely. Willing to compromise, sure, given the right circumstances.
Thank you. As a subject, he has remained inscrutable to me. I only want to make sure this mission isn't a failure.
Honestly, I get the feeling that his well-being is the least of your concern.
And I would say that I get the feeling that his well-being is the highest of your concern.
That's fair. I've only briefly witnessed his other side, his Reaper side, if you will. Honestly, I do understand why you fear it, but on more than one occasion, it's saved our lives. Without his mutation, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation, and that's fact.
And I may ask you a personal question. Do you consider him family or lover?
Neither. I mean, not family. He's one of my idols. someone I've looked up to for years. I consider him a very close friend. What exactly is your goal with him? I mean, surely having Chum observe him is only a means to some unknown end.
My goal is to develop his mutation into an economic benefit that ensures all our long-term survival in this war with the UA and the Three World Empire. It's important for you to remember that I neither led none of you to this outcome. We have all been put together by fate, by actions you all chose. Were I to fail here, my brother would surely continue the mission. And if he were to fail, this crew would very likely no longer be a viable asset to Lord Pavlovich. I only seek your assistance dispassionately as a doctor. But I fear that you harbor some type of deep resentment for me.
That's interesting. So, in theory, if you were able to replicate his mutation for quote unquote economic benefit, you would continue to prioritize his well being?
Lord Pavlovich would continue to prioritize his well being. There are certain experiments that even he finds beyond his appetite.
Right. And I don't harbor any ill will towards you. I barely even know you. But so far you've done nothing but dehumanize Captain Grimshaw and slander a person I care about, referring to him as a monster while trying to convince Solil that he may murder his child.
Private, excuse me, First Officer Kayla Briggs, please. How are we to continue in a deliberate manner with such aggression?
What can I say? I'm feeling good and the questions are flowing.
Layla downs a fourth glass of bourbon.
This goes for you as well, Salil. I do not intend to lose anyone, anywhere. That is what a monster does. Correction? That is what a monster did.
And yet, you intend to let him loose on Hardesty when we get there to, what, observe him? Be careful what you wish for.
I do not intend to loose him upon anyone. He will hopefully render his assistance in the field to our crew's benefit and make some sense of his aberration. Subject 1, if he's still alive, Donald Grimshaw. After this mutation runs its course, he will be remanded to your care. Until then, Subject 1 will remain in mine. I will decide what's best for him, best for us all. I believe we must work together to keep everyone on this ship alive. Would you agree?
That part, I do agree.
Good. Then let's talk practical matters. Are you able to speak and hold the conversation with the rational side of Subject 1 during his transformations?
Honestly, I've never tried. I've only witnessed his transformation once, and it was in the midst of battle. I can assure you that he returned to the good old normal John we all know. I'm not even sure if he's conscious when he goes berserk, but he seemed all there. He didn't attack us, and he got us out of a tight spot.
Would you be willing to work with the subject during a controlled transformation on the ship to evaluate, say, his receptivity to your coercion?
Of course.
Wonderful. We can listen to you from deep in his skull during one of these events. It may just save thousands of lives, millions even.
That sounds invasive, but I'll do my best.
Think of it. He may even be able to render aid to those suffering from this symbiotic relationship created by the squids, his squids, and their hosts. If, say, the son of your comrade here, Sulu, was infected, and the subject could cure him, wouldn't that be an endeavor? It could never pay the debt for lives already lost, but it could be a start.
Oh, so now Captain is helping Sulu instead of murdering him. Plot twist.
Why would Lord Pavlovich want him to murder more innocents than he already very likely has? Our Lord is not a psychopath.
Are you implying that John is responsible somehow for every single life lost so far? That seems like a bit of a stretch. I've never known him to take a single innocent life.
After a deep sigh, Gorvin pushes his empty glass across the table towards Layla.
Layla. Wait, let me start that over. Let me say that over.
Yeah.
Kayla, you must see it. Please, pour me another.
She does, which he soon takes a small sip from.
The innocent lives aren't on his hands. They're on yours. He may be a monster, but you're a doctor. Your job is to save lives. He's killed on your watch. Even now, as I prevent more loss of life, you insist on calling him Captain. I worry that with these rose-colored glasses that you see him in, you may allow him to jeopardize even more lives. Until you stop seeing him as a friend and start to see him as your patient. What we're dealing here is bigger than friendship. It very well may be the next step in human evolution, or it might cause the end of all of our lives.
He's my captain. He's our captain.
Then more people will die because of his recklessness. And it will be because you let it happen. You, Kayla, the first officer now. He is your responsibility. Any insubordination from you will be reflected amongst this crew and cannot be allowed.
He hasn't killed on my watch. You literally just put him under my care.
After a deep sigh, upon understanding that this conversation has reached its inevitable endpoint, Dr. Gorvin Haas stands up from the galley table.
That's the sound of the table. I'm retiring for the evening. I recommend you sleep this heat off. Tomorrow, you must be prepared to demonstrate that you care for this entire crew's lives. Not just your former captain, not just Dr. Lamont. Whatever your crew cares about, so must you. But above all, you must care about what Lord Vasily cares about. And he cares about making progress, understanding the malady afflicting Subject 1. Do you understand your mission, First Officer Briggs?
Look, I'll do the best I can. I'm not sure if I can control him in his Reaper form or not. I'm not sure if anyone can. I'll try to get through to him, but I'm not making any promises. But any failures fall on you and your commander, not me. This is your show. I'll play nice until you start trying to put your failures on me.
As long as you're committed to this crew and your own well-being, failure is irrelevant. Failure is not an option. Good night, Private Briggs, Dr. Lamont. I wouldn't linger out here too long, lest one of our security guards decide to escort you back to your cots in the brig.
Having finished speaking with the pair, Dr. Gorvin Haas turns and departs the galley, leaving them alone sitting at the table. Dr. Sulil briefly examines his newly provided comlink as the pair got up to wander back towards their beds for the evening. On the morning of the second day, the crew heard Dr. Gorvin speak up through the comlinks.
Good morning, crew. I was able to speak with Dr. Lamont and First Officer Briggs last night while the rest of you slept. I hope you are rested. Once the relevant armor and shields have been constructed by Salil, I will explain the strategic relevance and application in the field. The sooner they are constructed, the sooner we can become familiar with their combat specifics. Commander Gorzin will lead his phalanx in Squad A. Once we arrive at our destination, Kayla will lead her phalanx in Squad B. In a Janus formation, supported by the drone and tractor at Alpha and Omega positions. During all this, please refer to the handouts I've sent you as well.
He was a fairly nice guy, actually. He said he would help protect my son.
That was
You have a son.
Yes, his name is Sulu. He is 10 years old.
that was about the only nice thing he had to say.
Well, he also spoke highly of the crew, and if we do our jobs and succeed, we will remain valuable assets to the UPP, and we will be protected, which is nice.
So,
Do we know what he's talking about? What is a phalanx? It sounds like he's using words he doesn't understand.
I am not a soldier, but I am pretty sure that is a term that we will maybe be taught about.
So the stratagem 1 is one of the things that he provided to you guys. I just threw should have the availability.
Yeah, Radley, I think you're talking about this light reading.
I have no idea what I am looking at.
I was more... Go ahead.
Are we the stars or the boxes?
I'm pretty sure we are the stars of
Yeah.
the performance. I don't know.
Why are the arrows pointing in both directions?
I do not know if this is if there is a key that he forgot to put in here to help us dissect what we are looking at.
Oh, well, it does say that there's an air drone and a transport drone.
Yes, I am. I guess I am supposed to.
Yeah, this is very confusing.
Is it? All right. It floats. I would like schematics of what exactly he wants the drone to do. It looks like it has Wi-Fi, so that is nice.
Oh, I see that.
Let's
It's a
see.
strong signal.
It looks like our bullets have to sprawl. They shoot and then they explode outwards. So I guess we are all using shotguns. That's nice.
And you've designed this thing not to shoot at us, correct?
I have not designed this at all yet. It is the second day, so I guess I have a lot of work to do.
Oh, you haven't made it? Okay.
Not yet, but I am going to. I'm going to provide each of us with a key that it reads.
Wait,
Um,
I got a question. Who
Yes.
who drew this? Was it Dr. Haas or Commander Haas?
I am pretty
Yeah,
sure.
who's in charge? Is it the commander or the doctor?
Well, we spoke to the doctor, so I think he is the boss.
Because this
The
is
doctor
this
commands
is
the
written-
commander?
This is
Yes,
written like science notes, and it is only decipherable by someone who drew it. You've all heard of the doctor's handwriting. I think we're going to need to have a chat with him to understand what the hell this is, because talking in circles isn't going to get us anywhere on it.
I am pretty sure that the scary-looking one is the boss. That is how it was in all the old movies,
All the 20th century movies.
all the old 20th century movies.
From what I can tell, I think Commander Gorzin is in charge, and Dr. Haas is more of our liaison, but to be honest, the only way I can tell them apart is the scars on his face. So it's a little confusing.
I have been developing uh, the helmets so that we do not get face hugged by the squids. So that is what I worked on last night.
Well, that's good.
I will send you guys the designs shortly. Dr. Chomsky, we were told not to use your nickname anymore. Is that okay?
No, I don't. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Would you like to be Chum still?
I am no longer Dr. Chomsky, so anyone who wants to call me that is definitely going to have some problems with me.
All right, then I am going to keep calling you what I have always called you because I feel more comfortable with that.
I appreciate that.
But would you like anything to help alleviate any pain that you got from the battles and the
I'm in a state of numbness, I think, at this point. So I think I'm okay on pain. I'm more curious how this mission is actually being structured, because this light material that I think we're reading here isn't very clear at all.
Maybe we could bring this up to him and he could explain it better. I think the commander wrote this. I'm pretty sure.
When is this supposed to start? How do you guys feel about turning on Grimshaw?
I am nervous because he has protected us and saved our lives numerous times. But from what I understand, if he maintains control of his other self, then he will be a valuable asset to the UPP, and then it won't be us turning on him. We will be protecting him by keeping him from harming himself.
Yeah, I mean, guys, have we ever known John to attack us, to attack an innocent? I mean, I think it's pretty clear that they're trying to turn us against him.
Well, I don't know John at all.
That is true. You have not
Who is this? Who are we talking about?
crazy. Thank you, man.
He can have quite the wild side at times. I've only seen it once firsthand, but it was honestly, it was pretty awesome.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
does he get drunk at parties or something? What are you talking about?
No, his hand was cut off, and then it regrew
my God.
into a spiked claw, and then he just
What?
it up. It was crazy.
I'm sorry, a spiked claw came out of his hand?
Yeah, and then it disappeared. So I had to make him a prosthetic with Shum and Layla.
What is going on around here?
Radley, I was coming off of the back end of a bender when he transformed into this monster, and I thought I was hallucinating until everyone started to scream. So
No, that must have been fine.
Shit, man.
So yeah, we found ourselves with an interesting crew.
It's only a few moments later before the comlink crackles back to life, filling the brig with a new voice. This time, instead of Dr. Gorvin, you are now all listening to Commander Gorzin. Take it away, Willie.
Hello, everyone. This is Commander Gorzin here. I am here to discuss the stratagems written by my brother for our approach on the colony Odyssey in the next coming days. Is everyone here present?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome. I'm sure many of you have been in war before. Yes?
No.
No.
Yep.
Wait,
No?
okay. Scientists and war. We like to watch.
Very, very interesting. First Officer Layla, you were in war, you said?
Briefly,
Then you're familiar with the concept of the phalanx?
I am.
Perfect. Because you will be commanding Squad B. Dr.
Alrighty.
Sunil is designing a series of shields for our crew and some armor.
Yes, I have some questions about that. The designs I have received are make us look like villains and are mostly comprised of metal. I don't think that will be very effective, seeing as the aliens we ran onto on your planet had acid for blood, and it melted away a gear.
Yes, that sounds like you've thought about this very deeply.
Yes,
And I
I was
believe-
thinking of doing reinforced glass and fiberglass. Also, are we the squares in this sheet, or are we the stars?
You are the squares, if I'm
Oh.
believing my brother's diagrams correctly. You are the squares.
Oh, so your brother drew this?
Yes, and I am to interpret them for you.
The words?
Say that again.
Could you translate the words for us?
I would love to. I've been translating his gibberish for many years now.
Excellent.
So I think on the first sheet it said stratagem number 1, correct?
Yes, that is the only sheet that we have.
Yes.
So, what kind of gun are we using in this in this diagram?
I think these would be the squad A would have the shotguns and squad B would have the AKs. And we'd all be equipped with knives or swords if possible. But let's speak about the stratagems first before we get into the weapons, which would be secondary. So, stratagem 1 would be if we're countering multiple enemies in a field of random distribution, all coming at us at once, which is what the arrows indicate, is the direction of the opponents. There are 2 squads present, which is Squad A moving forward and Squad B moving backwards. That's in position number 1. So you'd be engaged as the phalanx, attack the opponents coming to you, moving in opposite positions from each other's phalanx. As you move space between you, the enemies will engage and move in between the 2 phalanxes, where you will engage the enemy and crush them by moving the phalanxes back together. And that's the 2 positions in the stratagem number 1. Does that make sense?
Commissioner Gordon, if the phalanxes are pointed at each other with enemies in between them, won't we be shooting at each other?
That was my question.
Yeah. Make sure not to shoot each other.
You understand how our bullets work? No matter what armor I make, it will not deflect every bullet.
I assure you, the imminent threat of the acid eating through your skin will change your mind on where the bullets should go.
I really need to stress that shooting at each other is really a bad idea.
Could we group into I like position 1, not so much position 2.
Aim carefully, gentlemen.
We are scientists. We are not soldiers.
You may also use any cutting instruments or blunt force instruments as you engage closer to poke and chop up any enemies. So you're not just relegated to your small arms.
If
I'm
you
with you.
say
Are we
so.
gonna go with the combat training at all?
Unfortunately, saving Sulu's life means we must all put ourselves at risk.
I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, we've been through worse, buddy.
So what is What is the triangle on D?
Triangle. Where do you see the triangle?
Uh, on the second half of the paper at the bottom left corner, there's like a triangle with 3 circles and then the letter D.
Oh,
And
the letter D refers to the drone. So you have an air
Oh.
drone with this small little D, and then you have the large D, which is the regular drone that has the legs. And so those two vehicles are going to be near you or being like covered by you guys while you're traveling, and will provide some level of space between you and any opponent. So you can use it as a bit of like a moving block.
Does the air drone have an electronic tether that you want me to put on us so that it doesn't drift away from us without being commanded to?
Oh, absolutely. That would be quite terrible if it lost control.
And the design here has it looks like a circle spinning around a circle.
That is for the 360 degrees of movement that we need for the any ballistics device that we install. So we can shoot directly down to any enemies without them being able to reach us, like a head puncher of sorts.
Okay. Okay. But with the fan being around its side, it will not have 360-degree aiming if the gun is pointed straight into a center. I figured it could be on a gyro of sorts, so that it could spin around like a lazy Susan.
Yeah, that would work as well.
And then it could also have servos to aim it up and down, so that it could get that incline.
Absolutely.
Excellent. I'll make note of that when I am designing it.
On this second half of the page, do our bullets go up and down and straight?
Oh, that's just the direction of movement that you can shoot the gun through the shield, because the shield has a cross-shaped hole, so you can shoot it down, so you're not directly shooting across if there's people directly across from you, you know. So since if you're encountering an enemy, you know, you can shoot at it lower in its torso to avoid, directly shooting into your friendly, having friendly fire. To avoid friendly fire.
Am I also designing the shield?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. The shields and the helmets with the little spikes on them, so that when
my new design doesn't have spikes on it.
So Leo gonna be busy.
But
it needs the spikes.
No, I have designed a helmet that is much more resistant in case of acid or heat. It also allows for a hand-free lighting, so that you can see in the dark and not be surprised. It has AC, air filtration, anti-fog, magnetic screen latch to eject the shield part off in case something is eating through it, so you can get it away from your face. I could possibly design something that shoots something like liquid nitrogen out of it, so that it could get something.
Well, that would all be kind of complex machinery, which is the time we don't have. Whereas spikes are engineering that has worked since the beginning of time against any type of threat.
But the metal is not acid resistant, or
could it be made out of like a glass substance? The spikes.
It might be able to, but it is going to be. It isn't going to be as effective as just stabbing it with your actual knife. in our
But this is for a passive defense. So if something is grabbing you and gripping, like the squids do, it will destroy itself by its own gripping.
But the squids are also malleable, so they may just reach around the spikes.
No, the whole thing's covered in spikes. There's no way to touch it where you're not going to be cut. That's the position. That's like an Iron Maiden facing outward.
You want me to put Iron Maidens on our faces? I came up with a really nice design.
It's had spikes to it, though.
I don't really want to.
I'm about to upload the design so everybody can see it.
Yeah, that looks way more doper.
Yeah.
The dopeness level on that is maximum. That's maximum dopeness.
Explain it.
It is a unit that is attached through a collar, so it has a neck shield. It has a headlamp, air filtration system, limited air supply, anti-fog, an AC cooling and heating system, magnetic screen latch so that it can eject the glass section on the face in case it is damaged in the process, and then a film drops down to refill the location. It has shock pads on the interior to act like a helmet so you won't get concussed. Built-in comm systems, and an electronics housing unit on the collar to protect it from EMP blasts.
Oh, wow. We are really armored space marines now.
Okay, so
And most of this is fairly easy engineering that already exists, and I just have to make a mold for the unit. So it is, I could put studs or something maybe to keep it so that things could grab, but if we cover the face, you have limited visibility if you have spikes on the face, so you will not be able to see when it's eating your face off.
Dr. Salil definitely has a point.
The spikes are on the head.
Okay.
I'm not understanding the spikes are on the head and on the cheeks. How would that be on the face?
Because if it is not on the face, then the creature can just reach between the spikes. So
the spikes are placed at such intensity around the head, so that when you're touching and you move your hand across it, it cuts you.
How do you put the helmet on?
And you attach your hand onto the helmet. A human touches it. Ow, my hand.
I know, but how would we put it on if it's on the entire...
I sent the diagram. It's very clear. There's a row of spikes that go like a mohawk of sorts, and then there's subsequent rows of blades along the sides.
But it does not cover every inch, so it would still be able to grip between the spikes. So we would just look like monsters.
So you're arguing with me over aesthetics, Dr. Solio, over the life of your son?
No, it's not over the life of my son. It is
over the life of your son over aesthetics?
No, I am not.
I'm not arguing. I've given you the order. Will you comply?
I just do not think it will be functional.
I have not asked you to think. I've asked you to engineer this with a limited amount of time. Thinking costs time, which you're costing right now.
I will do my best.
Add the spikes as I have ordered.
Can I ask, in all honesty, if we're trying to get this as prepped as quickly as we can, and he already has this design, it may take too much time to add those spikes.
I provided the design, Dr. Chomsky. He altered the design. Do you understand? That time was stolen from you, not from me.
It is my second day on the ship.
So let us not spend a third day in idle chit-chat.
Okay.
Excuse me, gentlemen. All of us need to calm down just a little bit. I think we're getting stuck in one problem that I've encountered before in certain types of committees is that we're we're getting ground down in the details here. We still don't know exactly how many enemies do we expect to be fighting here. And you're saying these are all on Hardesty Limited? I mean, what has happened there? Has something
We don't
happened?
even know the type of enemy or whether we'll have hostile survivors. We don't know whether the survivors will be human, inhuman, or some other thing we cannot expect. All I know is that cutting things cuts things. Are we understood? Are we understood, men?
Leila, you want to take that one?
I'm good.
I think we are understood. I will make an alteration to the design to make it more difficult to put on. I am sorry, everybody.
You told my brother your son Sulu was to arrive soon after you departed.
That is correct.
Where was your son headed when he was due to arrive at the colony?
I was renting an apartment above my workspace at Cone Cybernetics. I believe if my son is anywhere, he is likely to be there.
Then you'll be able to direct us to this location. Excellent.
Commander Haas, I have a request. May I be the first in to secure my son? I don't want him to be afraid or startled by persons unfamiliar to him. It may make the reality of his rescue easier to process.
That should be acceptable, as long as it doesn't jeopardize our mission parameters. We want you to be the first person he sees, not the last.
Thank you so much, Commander.
Over the course of the next few days, the crew kept busy. Salil was barely seen, most often spending his time in the tech room, working on the slew of projects provided to him by the new leadership. It was during these days that Chum spent hours speaking with and working alongside Dr. Gorbett Haas in the Science Bay, discussing different theories regarding the origin of Captain Grimshaw's mutation, as well as any practical effects that could be derived from such malady. Layla, being the only crew member allowed to speak with Captain, did so in few intervals, mostly making sure he was still breathing and making sure he was not in any active pain. Finally, Radley spent his time either laying on his bunk in the brig, reading, or wandering around the ship alone, wondering why he's even here in the first place. His contact with the rest of the crew came in brief spurts, a few sentences in passing through hallways, the galley, or in the brig at night before everyone turned in. Finally, on the morning of the seventh day, the crew was awoken not by their normal "good morning" come from Captain Gorzin, but by the sound of blaring klaxons. The Chernobog had arrived at Hardesty Limited. After arriving at the ready room outside of the cargo bay, everyone observes two of the many projects Salil has been working on. One of the two hovers roughly 8 feet off the ground and resembles a large Ares disk, yet functions as an autonomous following motion tracking auto turret. List of items removed from the crew armory to create the drone: M56A2 smart gun, UA571C sentry gun, electronic tools, Samani E-Series watch, M416 motion tracker, 2 heavy-duty flashlights. The second machine, roughly the size of a panther, is a boxy metal quadruped with a large metallic square container resting on its back. This tractor walks down the hallway behind Salil as he arrives. Stepping through the bulkhead doors separating the ready room from the bridge, Commander Gorzin appears decked out in his full Bogatyr regalia armor modified by Salil. Following him into the room are the UPP soldiers that were all assigned to keep an eye on you on Novoya Odessa, as well as to provide security for this mission: Stefan Roy, Edom Kikilievich, Guy Zarakian, J. Hud Gurnt, Joyce Moore, and Matthew Navia. Each of them is wearing a modified Eco All-World Survival Suit covered in barbs and spikes. Eco All-World Survival Suit modified rating. You guys ready for that armor? Armor rating 5. Air supply 4. Weight 3.
The shields are memory disk magnets.
Once the room has settled and Commander Gorzen is comfortable with all eyes on him, he speaks up. Go ahead, Yuli.
Hello, once again, crew of the Chernobog. I'm pleased with how our journey here has gone. I've been informed of very little troubling issues during our trip. It appears that a collaboration between our two sides may actually be possible here. I hope and pray for us all that this is the case. As you can see from these soldiers, you have not just new uniforms to be wearing, but armor and weapons as well that will be provided upon you entering the dropship. This is an important mission. It is our first mission as a group, and thus our first chance at impressing Lord Vasily with our teamwork capabilities. You have all been provided mission parameters, but I will go over things one last time. We have just arrived into the orbit of the planet known as Odyssey Limited. Though mostly empty, there is a colony on this planet that should hold over 5,000 citizens. This collection, though established by the UA, was overseen by a comrade of our Lord Vasilis named Toby Hardesty. At least until recently when you all killed him. During that assault, Subject 1 lost control of himself and his mutation, and he created a squid burst of monstrosities that exploded from his body. And now there's been little to no contact with the colony since then. Over a month ago. So we travel to the surface of the planet now to ascertain the level of damage, to learn if this colony needs our help, and if it does, decide if it's worth our time to do so. While we are down there, we encounter overwhelming resistance from a hostile population. We will separate into 2 units. Squad A, led by myself, which will consist of Dr. Chomsky, Subject 1, Soldier Kikilovich, Soldier Gurnt, Soldier Navia, while Squad B, led by First Officer Briggs, which will consist of Dr. Lamont, Bradley Boubois, Soldier Smorg, Soldier Roy, and Soldier Zerakian. Squad A will be on point in causing a ruckus, a distraction, a diversion for Squad B, who with the help of Dr. Lamone's drone and tractor will infiltrate Toby Hardesty's mansion, locate his private storage vault, and liberate Lockbox PHX-211 for safe return back to Nobuyu Odessa's Science Council. Is this understood? Are there any questions before we proceed? Please, do not be shy.
When exactly?
Please, do not be shy.
When exactly do we save my son?
Can I speak to you maybe a little over here in corner?
Maybe a little.
Sure.
So no one else can hear, okay?
Okay.
Commander Gorzen and Solil walk into the corner of the room.
Bradley's just staring at them.
What's our loadout? What kind of weapons are we supposed to be getting for this?
I'm also better with the shotgun than I am with the AK. Do I have to use an AK? Can I ask, Commander? Can I have a shotgun instead of an AK?
I thought we were talking about your son.
Yes. We need to talk about that as well. I thought you were going to initiate the
How
conversation.
concerned should I be for your son right now, or should I be concerned with weapons? I can talk about weapons.
No, I'm concerned about my son, but you
Okay.
didn't say anything when I came over to this corner, so it's
When we get down to the colony, it's going to be very, very dangerous. Correct? Right?
sure. I don't know. I haven't been.
I believe it's going to be, it's no one has heard anything for a long time. So I fear for your son's life right now.
As do I.
And so we both have mission, correct? Assigned by Lord Vasily.
Yes.
And I have here in my mission brief. Let me look really quick. I write a little book. Let me read. Mission number 1, objective: obtain lockbox TH211, and I have here secondary objectives: study subject 1. That's Dr. Chomsky, not you. And then here's secure survivor, Sulu Lamont. So, according to our Dr. Gorvin, he tells me, we follow the mission objectives. First, we go to where we get the lockbox, which you have helped us with drone, right? What I believe, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And so you have drone who flies in sky too.
Yes, I have created both.
Oh, very good, very good.
Does that mean I stay on ship until secondary objective?
Well, if secondary objective is your son and you want to be on ship, it's okay.
No, I want to be there for secondary objective.
Also, but I have idea. Which is why I will bring you to corner to talk to you.
Okay.
So with the drone, when we're done with the lockbox, we send drone out. You put your own voice into drone, like hello, boy, come out, right?
You want my son to leave whatever safety
No.
he may have found?
You put the message. So you put the message with whatever you want to say, and then if we can give the drone a way to send a flare for where he's at, we go to drone, and we pick up drone, right? And pick up your son.
Yeah, we pick up son and then possibly drone. I can make another
your drone and also your son. Win-win.
But I can make another drone. I am. My son is irreplaceable.
Believe me, if you make another son. No, take that.
The only dad among us says this.
All right. Cut that. Yes, so we will follow drone and find your son, and then we go back home all together, and then we truly are a happy family, I believe, right?
Excellent. That all works for me.
Very well. That works for me as well. We can talk weapons now.
I am better with the shotgun than I am with.
Well, the squads can be up to you, really.
Right.
If you want to be in shotgun squad and someone want to be in AK squad, you switch.
I don't want to be in squad A at all. They are infiltration squad. I want to be in.
No, you be with drone in squad B, right?
Yes.
So you be with drone in squad B.
Yeah.
And so whoever's in squad B, you switch and be in squad A.
Do what now?
What?
What?
With the drone switch?
No, you just follow drone in squad B now.
I was always in squad B.
So what's wrong? So grab shotgun.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
That's all. Everyone in squad B has shotgun. Everyone, whatever you have in squad B, everyone else has. That's all.
Oh, I love that.
Is anybody allowed to use that smart gun?
Is there an extra one?
There should be one left.
I thought we dismantled it for the air drone.
There were 2 of them.
Whoever wants to use the whatchamacallit smart gun can use it.
No one has any objections. I would like to claim.
It is Layla's. It does belong to her.
Alrighty.
The most important thing is Layla is commanding Squad B, and I'll be commanding Squad A. And then between us, we have the 6 UPP soldiers who will be giving support to Squad A and Squad B.
Got it.
Roger that.
Well, Layla, you're the main doctor in Squad B, correct?
Yes.
And then who's the other medical doctor?
I mean, both Salil and I have medical, I'm pretty sure.
I do not have any medical.
Okay, well, I am definitely medical rep, so.
Okay, so Chomsky, you're going to be the medic on Squad A, and Layla will be the medic on Squad B.
I thought Redley was a veterinary. Is he not a doctor? Medical?
So I do people doctor stuff. I don't have an active medical license, but
I mean,
I'm not just a pet doctor.
Aid, though?
What?
Can you render basic first aid?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So with Chomsky and you, Radley, on Squad A, I think we're more than covered with, let's say, 9 medikits, and then we'll give the other 9 to Squad B, and those UPP soldiers are just going to have to come to us for medical care.
I'm sorry, you're giving me 9 of the medical kits. How many of the surgical kits?
How many are there? 10?
Mm-hmm.
So 5 and 5 with Squad A and Squad B. I say just divide it equally between the 2 groups, if that's fair for you guys.
Makes sense.
Are the shields completed?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
They are housed in a little wrist unit. I wouldn't say little. It's about the size of your forearm.
How big is the shield?
The shield is about 3.5 feet. 3.5 4.
Does it reach the ground?
No, not completely. I thought it would be so that you could move quickly while defending yourself.
And
So
using the shield means that hand is occupied?
Yeah, one of your
hands. You could rest your gun across your wrist, like a brace.
the shield should go to the bottom because you're not moving while using the shield. You're not supposed to be going fast.
Oh,
And it's to protect your ankles from anything that's coming in from below.
I made them spiked so that I made it sharp so you could just jab it into things that were coming below.
Well, it's supposed to brace. It's not a phalanx if you can't brace it onto the ground and brace it against each other. If you're holding it, freely up in the air, we won't be able to. It just won't work. Yeah, like these are kind of like the police SWAT shields that go cover the shins, because if you're not protecting your shins, then.
Well, I mean, it covers the shins, but it doesn't cover your toes.
Could you rest on it on the ground though?
Yeah, you could jab it into the ground, and it would be fun.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for electronic tools or a Sigson system. Very useful.
I might have something. Let me look.
As everyone's entered the cargo area, they observe 3 Aerodyne light VTOL automotive gyro cars parked in the center of the bay. The hood to one of them is lifted up by large, powerful engines, while Ibiov makes some final adjustments. When she sees everyone approaching, Ibiov sets down her tools and gives a salute to Commander Borzin before saying, "Commander, it's an honor for me to be working on this ship. You are a hero, sir. Thank you for your service and everything you've done for Navoyo Odessa. I only hope for your expectations. The gyro car is running like a charm, sir. All of them. And I will have no problem delivering this group to the surface."
Excellent. Let's get going.
The minute you all enter the gyro cars, each carries 5 people. You observe separate eco suits hanging in front of your different seats. The gyro car is typical vertical takeoff. The gyro car is a typical vertical takeoff and landing automobile found on the more civilized worlds of the Outer Veil and the core systems. These microfusion reactors, given gyroscopic cars, can operate as wheeled ground transports or utilize fans to generate air cushions with a maximum flight ceiling of 3,000 meters, which is roughly a mile and a half. Cameras offer a 360-degree view, and proximity alert protects against collisions. Gyrocars require a lot of upkeep and are therefore a rare sight on the frontier in Outer Rim. These specific ones are Gorvin's creations, the Dragon Turtles. So you guys should have a handout in there that describes their maneuverability, speed, hull, and armor. The order of the 3 gyrocars. Gyrocar 1, Commander Gorzen Haas. Commander Gorzen Haas, Dr. Ephraim Chomsky. Subject 1, Radley Bro Dubois. Gyrocar 2, First Officer Layla Briggs, Dr. Salil Lamont, Soldier Roy, Soldier Zarakian, and the Hover Drum. Gyrocar 3, UBP soldiers Smorg, Gurnt, Ikovich, Navia, and the Carry Drum. As the cargo bay doors open, roughly a mile and a half below you lay the not-so-sprawling colony of Hardesty Limited. With the last reported population of just over 5,000, the town's main focus is as a cattle production hub, structured to provide real meat to the furthermost UA colonies. A 17 by 17 square block with frayed edges, the town is built around a T-structure with the horizontal main street at the top, consisting of all the most well-known shops. The vertical Hardesty Road that all the residential homes branch off of stretches down through the middle of the colony, ending at the spaceport. It's clear even from here that all the spaceships that were docked at the spaceport have all long been destroyed. Their shattered husks no longer smoke, though great dark smudges of gasoline tattoo the tarmac around them. The topography of the area around the colony would be most similar to that of either Texas or Kansas, as gold rolling hills, valleys of wheat, and plains of agricultural crops expand outward around the colony for as far as the eye can see. On the east side of the colony, large clusters of trees surround the more expensive homes, separating them from the rest of the colony.
Let us go save Sulu Lamont.
Each driver of the gyrocar pilots the rolling ball of the vehicle out the back of the Chernobog, and you all drop towards the ground at an alarmingly fast speed.